Welcome to Cablevision HD. I am Complacentbadger, and
I'm Gimpy.
we're in week 4, people. We're halfway there.
Making so much progress. Look at us doing things and recording.
You will have noticed that week 3 did not get all the video coverage. We did have one coach have to give his basically he had to throw in because he just couldn't get to the game. So Masrak last week got a free win, and after that he has to go against moi.
Yeah, huge one for Masrak. Did Masrak get 2 MVPs for that?
Yeah, so in there you have to like do it specifically. So I gave him 2 MVPs to random players. I had to give him winnings, so I gave him a 1 roll, so just 10,000. And then because I had to show him the win, I had to give a random player a touchdown, and it just so happened to be one of the ones that caught the MVP. So he does have a second level Beastman now.
Well, that's great for him.
Yeah.
And that looks like a claw Beastman.
Yeah. And sorry, my second level, I think he has a 3rd level Beastman now. And that was, so you will see a trend in this game. I did not want to play with that guy, and proceeded to immediately end my drive.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
I see you've started covering your flanks. You
I
did not
did.
do the 5 guys in the backfield technique.
See, I learned. I changed it. So yeah, I really wanted that claw out of there because I had a sneaking suspicion that he was going to run down through my my dwarves and cause me a bad day. I did not expect a double attacker down on a reroll, so...
Yeah, that's rough.
But it's not a terrible loss. Like, it's bad, but, like, my guys can take it. We just gotta rework. The benefit is that Masrak's Chaos Team right now, you know, the Beefcake Brigade are big hitters, so they want to hit me, which means they're not desperately trying to invade my backfield. It's got 3 Beastmen. But my dwarves are tough. We can take 3 Beastmen. That's nothing.
This is an interesting matchup. Yeah, this is definitely an interesting matchup because he has the strength advantage, but you have the skill advantage, and both of you want to throw blocks.
Yes.
And he just left a couple of dwarves out there alone.
Oh, yeah, he did.
I understand that dwarves don't have a lot of movement, but...
Slow and steady. Slow and steady.
But you're going to pull him back anyway.
Yeah, I'm not going for reception yardage.
You sure? I feel like dwarven passes are your jam.
Well, the dwarven pass is different, but yeah, a pass to a dwarf is different. So I need to make up for my terrible mistake, and with that, I'm trying to tangle up as many of his players as I can.
Yeah.
So I'm taking a couple risks here, because you know, a couple more bad decisions couldn't make my other bad decisions any worse, right?
Right. No, they don't stack.
Yeah. So I have all of his beastmen tied up except for one. The most important one is tied up, so
yeah.
Poor Kazlak Porter. But I do feel pretty safe.
Deja vu, I just been to space.
What's happening?
Run and go for it.
Yeah. So I feel relatively safe over here. There's a lot of dwarves getting tucked in there.
The number one thing I would be curious about here, and I think I might try it, is I might bring a Chaos Warrior back around for a blitz. Like, I don't think I would have thrown that block there. I would have moved him around.
Yeah, I mean, you got that AG3. I mean, there's no reason not to try for it.
I mean, you don't need dodge. You have tackle anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I think he really wants to abuse that claw as much as possible, so getting that blitz so he can get strength 4 and get a 2-die.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad move. And he's got a safety out there, so he has time.
Yeah, he's definitely not under pressure by any means right now. He no longer has a safety out there.
Well, I mean, he just moved it forward. I have movement allowance 4. That's about double my movement, so that's still a safety.
Fair enough. Well, you technically have an eligible receiver on that left side that's not going to do any... There he is.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
Technically...
I think Masrak knows me well enough that he knew that where that risk was at.
Yeah.
So getting set up, having to do a ramshackle cage where I just put one guy on the head and just hope that you don't want to go for the one die, or you at least mess up the one die.
Yeah, your team will definitely get a lot better once you start gathering up that guard.
Yeah. I've been throwing debates back and forth in my own head. Am I gonna go team Mighty Blow or team Guard first? And I know it's the wrong answer, but I think I'm gonna go Mighty Blow first.
Well, Mighty Blow potentially could increase your
Rate of guard.
yeah. That said, I mean, could you split the difference?
I'm thinking about it. I don't know if because the two kind of like AV7 games didn't really go the way I wanted them to. I don't think I'm gonna get many players at level 2, but we're gonna see. So he did bring up some players to give him the 2 die, but he did not do much with it. He just did a push to the sideline. So that player's in trouble, but you know, I'm still standing. That's an option. But he is sending a lot of players. Yes. So a majority of his players are over here. A majority of my players are about center field and left.
Yeah, exactly where you wanted him, so that you can lure him into your trap, presumably.
Exactly. And I am still trying so desperately to put down that claw player. And he's down. Let's see if anything comes of it. It does not.
Nope.
The more he's down, the more he has to commit those blitz, so at least I have that. And I don't really see myself applying him enough pressure to break that, so I'm trying to get my player advantage for this drive. So here we go, getting out of the sideline, because that's what Dwarves do, they go through their opponents. I am down to no rerolls now, and it has been now I'm halfway through.
This is the 4th turn, yeah.
Yeah, this is halfway through my half.
I mean, that's what happens when you're throwing all those 2 dies uphill. You're gonna use those.
Yeah, so I'm out of rerolls, but I have brought the this side doesn't look nearly as bad as it did. It's still real bad, but here we go. So he's pushing him there. Ball goes in the hand. Where's it going? And right on the sideline. So, this is not ideal. He has now completely turned this wing against me. The drive has faltered. And we have a lot of his players adjacent to the ball, and not a lot of my players adjacent to the ball. And I just suffered a KO on that side.
Yep, there's the first pen of the half.
Yep, of course it's on me.
Or the first real pen. I'm not counting stuns.
Yeah, they're kind of bullshit. Oh, and there goes another one. So, I have effectively one player affecting this drive now. The rest of them are just kind of punching. Haha, rebuttal KO. Get it in there. Alright. So, believe it or not, I have a plan here. And it is beyond just throwing hits, if you can believe it. Can you believe it? I know I can. So we have more hits being thrown. Here we go. And the claw guy just doesn't want to stay. He just doesn't want to stay down. He's just gonna keep taking these hits. Putting the Chaos Warrior down. All right, Gimpy. See that? Dodge onto the ball. Ball gets thrown right to my players.
Nice. You know what? That's actually a pretty legitimate strategy.
I did all my rolls first. We made sure because I knew I was gonna fail the dodge. I was like, you know what? This has about a third of a chance of it going out of the pitch, and then wherever it lands is better than where it's at now. And it just happened to land in almost the perfect spot. So now the drive has turned back onto me.
Honestly, yeah, failing is probably the best thing that could have happened to you there.
Yep, that was the plan. That was the plan the whole time. I was like, let's just open up enough of the field in the middle to where if it lands somewhere, it's in my favor. I'm just glad it bounced to the sideline and not into one of his guys' hands. I would have looked like a real idiot.
But I mean, really, that technique is not terribly much different from, you've seen me do it this season, and we've talked about it before, where you throw a pass that you don't expect to actually get completed. You
Yeah.
just want the ball as far away from the trouble as possible.
Mm-hmm. We really gotta name that.
Yeah.
All right, so we're moving in, trying to fight him away from the ball now that he's repositioned over here. But
And here's the waterfall.
yeah, this is the good part. This is the good stuff because with this, he has to come to me. I finally give up on that guy, but mostly because I don't want to give up on this claw player.
Well, 2 minutes well worth it.
So I have officially stripped him off the ball. Mighty Blow doing its work to get me a stun on that Chaos Warrior. Alright, so the powerful and stout Dwarves have officially stripped those players off the ball, which is nice.
And you've got a couple of players who are actually free enough to potentially make it to the end zone.
Yeah. I was crazy. There goes that claw. Luckily it was only a stun, but this is my nightmare. and the ball pops right into his hand.
Son of a bitch. Well, at least he doesn't have much movement left.
No, but he still has 2 turns, and I don't have players to do anything. I guess I have these guys over here.
Yeah, those two are completely free.
Yeah, but that's...
He does not have a good way of getting to them.
No, but that's a real long stride for my guys.
Yeah. It's like 2 or 3 go for it, it's fine.
Yeah, now I have 1 player that's unengaged, and with my massive agility...
Easy dodge.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. So, look at me. I'm setting up a receiver. Intermediate receiver, because we got short, stubby legs.
The cutoff man, yeah.
Here we go. Against his only player with block. Great. Wonderful. Alright. Now we just try to... And then that push happened, and I was just like, ugh. Really needed that player open. Oh, alright. So more pushing. Push city.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
I tried. Alright. So, puts his own player down. No rerolls.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And he didn't do any of his free moves first. And here we go, kids. This is why you do your free moves first, because that went from really good chance to really bad fast.
That is a free dwarf who can make it, and yeah, it takes 1 go for it.
Yep. So, putting him on the line, the ball is securely in that player's hand and will remain there unless he can do something on his turn. But that is a lot of dwarves. And, you know, he moves across just in case something really weird happens.
Imagine all the 2-dies you'd have if you gave them these guys guard.
Right, I know. Yeah. I mean, if I can get a second player to get level 2, maybe I'll think about guard, but it's been tough going.
Yeah. Trust me, I know that feeling as well as anyone.
Alright, so I've got enough pressure over here that I think I've got this. He goes for the pass. And the interception.
Oh my god, is that your second this season?
Yep, second interception, man.
How do the Dwarves have any interceptions, much less 2? And he did it with a person next to him.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I think they're trying to do a lot of... Oh, by the way, before we talk about that interception, look at that sweltering heat.
Oh my god. Worst case scenario.
Look at this one. Oh, and I have a spare player. Yes.
So yeah, you're only down 1 player, and he is down to 6. Oh.
So this was like between my weird ball move and then that you know, both down. You know, these die rolls are screwing Masrak. And the best kick in the league.
That is the second week in a row you had
I'm telling you.
your perfect kick.
People are like, you don't take kick? I'm like, my players all know kick, just naturally.
Why would I bother? They already have it.
That seems like a waste. So here he comes with that claw, not trying to waste it, but he gets a push. And he goes up the middle, getting that receiver going. He knows his only chance is a passing game right now.
Disagree. Time to cage up and slow roll.
Oh, I wish. That would be beautiful right now. Get a little bit of pincer move in here. Let's get comfy.
Weird. Why would you cover that receiver? Seems like an odd choice.
Get comfortable, fucking sugar, because that's where you live now, between those two dwarves.
That is your home. Don't you want to go to your home?
All right, and here we go. This is the A team rolling down, 9 and 11. Uh-oh, here they go rocking it.
Oh God. Well, I hope that doesn't end in a fiery crash.
Yeah, it's gonna be real bad. Look at me throwing a hit. Look at that push. He's got the ball. Look at these staring him down. They'll be there in 2 turns. See, low movement allows doesn't matter for the dwarves because usually they're standing in a place that you got to come to them. Look at him. Look at it. He's trying, man. He is trying to claw me up. But we are not having it. Alright, so here we go. Scooting on down the pitch. Goodbye, receiver. Take that. There we go. Getting set up for that interception that we know will happen.
Your third of the season.
Yes. And here we go. And he's down. Don't underestimate my movement.
I cannot believe this is happening.
Stay down, Claw. 2 die uphill, oh no. Alright. Got 2 rerolls left. It's been 2 turns, no big deal. Uh-oh. There he goes. So he puts him down. And he's marking the ball. Good mark, smart mark, and he messes it up.
Why not just... I mean, first of all, I feel like I would have picked up that other guy who you're going to have mark the ball.
Yeah.
Why he engaged that player who can specifically peel him off the ball will be a mystery for the ages.
Yeah. Oh, stun on me. Can't complain after that sweltering heat, though. Basically...
Oh no, what will you do with your fucking stun? You're basically powerless.
Here we go. That one movement after standing up.
So fast.
And I remember hating myself so much for following up there.
Well, at least I don't have to tell you you fucked up.
Yeah, you ever do that where because I throw, 60 plus blocks a game, and almost all of them are follow-ups. You just get in that mode where you're just doing it, but and he's all hands.
I have that similar problem where, was it week 4's game or week 3's game? I think it was week 4's game. So this week against the Amazons, I went to look at something, and my finger accidentally double-clicked, because that's what I do with down players. I just pick them up. But I wanted to see his movement so I could potentially blitz with them. I was like, well, I guess he's not blitzing then.
So he failed that dodge, didn't pick up any of his players, mostly because he probably just didn't want to get hit anymore, and I definitely disrespected him by going one move laterally.
Fuck you in particular.
I just wanted to give it... 4 turns seemed like a bit much for a drive, so I was like, let's make it 3 turns for his drive.
Yeah,
Um,
that's probably the best route, honestly.
Yeah.
Because while we shouldn't disrespect your movement, it's still trash.
Yeah, but I definitely did a very disrespectful move by not scoring. But you know, this could be a win for me. So I'm not gonna be very nice.
Yeah. Man, those beards are so long.
Yeah, very very long. They should be called long beards.
Yeah. Weird that they're not.
Yeah. All right. So we wait for the next setup. All his guys are back. So
He's got 3 turns, but he has more movement than you, like 50% more movement almost across the board.
yeah.
But that block though.
Yeah. It's gonna be tough. But you know, 3 turns. We're even players now. All I gotta do is hold him.
Yeah. I feel like if it were me, that block claw beastman is going 1 to the left and switching with that chaos warrior, because then he can just get a 2-die on it. That's presumably what he wants. Is he wants a 2-die out of that guy so he can just hit things.
Honestly, that's the guy that I'm gonna blitz with to try to open up a hole.
Fair enough.
Because that's gonna be the guy
that.
who's likely to keep that hole open by injuring the player.
That's fair. Okay.
I don't like that setup because it's not your idea, which is good, and it's not my idea, which is good. So
Yeah, that's clearly the best setup.
but you know, you can waterfall and cascade it to get that that second die, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's just yeah, I wanna, and then maybe he still blitzes with him.
Yeah, looks like he's going to.
There he goes. Best of both worlds.
And he's on a journey.
Yep.
Fuck that guy.
Yep.
He went so far out of his way to hit that asshole.
Yep. So he's got a clear move downfield. So it's not great for me. But the benefit of my setup, even with my low movement, I can still easily engage him in a pincer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not bad. I'm even throwing a safety out there. Throwing an interception guy and keeping him scared of interceptions. That's one of the best things, is after an interception, always set up for an interception, because your opponent will always be thinking it's going to happen again. They hate the thought of it happening twice in one game.
Oh yeah. Especially against dwarves. Like, if there's any reason why, like, I hate interceptions anyway, and I'm like, fuck, man, I can't believe that happened.
Mm-hmm.
When it happens against a team that it should, like, by a player it should never happen with.
Yeah. Well, it
You're
seems to always be that, the people, because most of the time, unless you're built for it, it's going to take you a 6 to do it.
Yeah.
So, having, the odds are the same for most players, but it always seems to happen to an ogre or, something similar.
I had a game, I think it was in the first season I competed in BT, where it was like pouring rain, and it was at least a medium, if not a long pass, to an agility to Ulf Werner.
Mm-hmm.
And he completed that pass. I was like, okay, statistically, that's not happening again. And the next drive, he did it again. I was like, son of a...
So he's got it. Now, that's one of those things that, like, I'm like, I get it. That gets the ball downfield, but that player's already moved.
He is definitely exposed.
Yeah. And he knows I'm not afraid of 2-die uphill that guy.
Yeah. Especially with your team.
Yeah.
Because he has no... We talk about this constantly.
Well, yeah.
He has no skills. He has no dodge. He has no block on any of his players.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to do something to that claw player. I am not going to do anything to that claw player.
You've got one more turn to do something to that claw player.
Yes.
How far does the ball carrier have to go to score?
He only has movement allowance 5, and I just made sure that he is 8 spaces away. That push was the only thing that I was looking for, and that's why I didn't do any effort to get a 2-die, because all I was hoping for was a push.
and with the Beastman dropping, I believe that does make it literally impossible for him to score.
Yes, he can no longer score. And at that moment, he was counting. After I put the Beastman down, he was counting his spaces, and he was like, "Oh man!" I was like, "Yep, that was the plan." So he's still gonna do the hits. He's still gonna do what he can, and this is always the worst feeling in Blood Bowl right here. Still does the go for it. It's just a show.
Because fuck you.
Yeah. You know, the idea is that the ref blows the whistle right as the player's about to cross the line. But he's still going to take his hits on me. Because rightly should. Any coach worth his salt should take your final hits.
Yeah.
No shame in it. I don't care if there's only one player on the pitch. You go for that table. Alright. My final turn of hits. Let's see if anything saucy happens.
This will be the turn you kill that fucking claw
Yeah,
player.
right. After all those efforts, because honestly, I rolled so many blocks against him. Had I just not been so bloodthirsty against that claw player, I probably could have had a decent player advantage by putting down 3 or 4 more players. Which one of them might have been a KO. You know what I mean?
Well, arguably no, because he has the same armor value across the board.
Yeah, but with the thing is those blocks that I applied to that claw player.
Oh right, where it's both down.
Yeah, I could have been putting them down. So, I think that was one of the biggest issues that I did was I focused too much on the claw player. But who knows how many times I prevented that claw player from doing anything to me, and then you know I give him a free stun.
You had a really good game. You even had strategy and shit.
Yeah, well, crazy, right? Like,
Yeah.
I've like made decisions.
Super weird.
Don't
Don't let that shit happen twice.
the only reason he lost though was because of the sweltering heat.
Yeah.
That was squarely.
Without that, probably would have been a tie, possibly a win for the Beastmen.
And as a standard for me.
There's nothing more complacent Badger than 21 ones.
That's why my tagline's
but,
rolling on ones, man.
30 armor rolls, that probably helped you. Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, no. The ones probably worked in my favor for this game, there's no doubt about it. But that just goes to show you, like, hey man, I may not pick up a ball, but you're not gonna break this armor.
Yeah.
Let's see, let's look at the block dice. Look at me. That's pretty even spread. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's about as, and especially with my team having block, like this number being a little high, this number being high, like these are great for me. Like throughout here, these are awesome numbers for me. So
yeah,
I actually
especially with your tackle and block, yeah.
Honestly, I'd honestly prefer all the dice to be this, except maybe that last one against that Chaos Warrior, but that would have put him down too. So whatever. Yeah, right now while the league is still young. These are the best numbers. Let's look at the Beefcake Brigade. Push City and a couple stumbles.
Honestly, that's pretty favorable because he's just so low on skulls.
Yeah.
Because he's otherwise basically where we would expect him to be, but he had the defender stumbles that he should have been skulls.
He was chucking out those ones too, but I think that worked in his favor. I think I failed a lot of armor roll. You can see it, 82% he passed those armor rolls, so I think that worked in his favor, and then he only failed a single injury roll.
Yeah, I mean, those look about right. That's about what we would expect percentage-wise. Again, the big difference maker was losing 5 players to sweltering heat.
Yeah, I think that's where those 2s, I think they might have all been 2s for sweltering heat. And that's probably where that came in. But low SPP game. It's good for me. That was a good SPP game for me because I got the touchdown.
For you, it's monstrous.
Yeah.
Last week we talked about a huge SPP game where it was it 23 and 12, and this week combined you guys have 15.
Yeah. All in all, I thought that was a hilarious game. For what do you have for me?
Honestly, for you, I don't really have anything. you adjusted pretty well. We had talked about a couple of decisions that you probably would have done differently had you taken the time to think about it, like that follow-up that we had talked about early on, going so bloodthirsty after that claw guy, so you didn't really set anything up.
This
Uh,
game also was no excuses, just reasoning. This game was late at night for me, the night before I was leaving for Gen Con.
yeah. Well, now that we have all your fucking excuses, um, but honestly, besides that, I think you played extremely well, and more importantly, I think your weird plays were well calculated.
Yeah.
Because that's always that part where, and we talk about with others, like, what were they thinking? And this is the advantage of doing the commentaries. You can tell exactly what we were thinking.
Yeah, I'm sure it would have looked a lot weirder if I wasn't here to give kind of a play-by-play of what was going on.
Yeah.
But on the same note,
Um,
I also, admitted to a couple, if I think maybe 3 plays where I was just like, yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah. We might have been able to work out some of those things. That dive on the ball on the sideline, to me, is a well-calculated risk that I think most of us would have tried
Mm-hmm.
had we thought of it. I'm not that smart of a guy. I don't know if I would have thought of it. I probably would have tried to blitz that guy out and done something dumb. Who
Yeah,
knows?
that was the only thing that I saw had even a small chance of success, and it worked.
Yeah, it worked to perfection. For the Beefcake Brigade, in all honesty, I thought you played extremely well.
Yeah, I thought he played it
There was
almost.
nothing to me that seemed super out of place.
Yeah.
You're in a weird spot because you have the strength advantage, so we expect you to be engaged the entire time. But because you lack those skills, and this is a team that will throw blocks with reckless abandon, I wonder if you should have been less aggressive with it. Maybe that would have been the difference maker into keeping. I mean, I guess you didn't lose that many players to Pens in my face. Um,
But the difference being, one, I want to say before I go into it, I think he played a really good game. And I think the sweltering heat was the only reason that this didn't go 1 or 2-0 in his favor. But considering the sweltering heat, I don't know if there was a lot of chance for it, but I think either letting the drive end quickly or doing an elf defense and trying to drive it to a 0-0.
yeah.
I think those were the only 2 options there, but you still played like you normally did, which you can't fault somebody for keeping to their basics and their standards in that
Yeah,
situation.
and a lot of times that's what you should be doing. If you find yourself at a disadvantage, you resort to the stuff you know best, the stuff that you've done 100 times, and that's where you're going to have that success is because it's automatic. You don't have to put a lot into it. Honestly, that might be one of those times where I might have tried a bullshit pass.
Yeah.
Where I just try to break someone downfield because you're moving 4, man. You're not throwing it the length of the field. I might have just done my best to get one receiver down the field and just chuck that ball as far down the field as I could and made you go get it.
Well, he basically did that. He just never got the chance to throw it because I got really aggressive in his face, and he just didn't have the players to hold back on me. And that's where that argument of mine was about the elf defense. Because if you would have, spent those agility 3 Chaos Warriors jump back instead of throwing the blocks, you might have actually been able to screen and made me use my movement 4 so that I wouldn't have been so close to your guy. But I'd have to look at it again. You might have been down so many players that wasn't really feasible. But that's all I got, man. You got anything else?
No, phenomenal play from both of you guys, even if it was one of the weirdest games that we've seen.
Yeah.
Super entertaining.
Yeah, and just well done, Masrak. I think you played a wonderful game. Sorry that the rolls really screwed you. But other than that, man, we'll see you next time.
Yeah, later.